Got another interesting piece of equipment that my friend Chris asked me to look at. This is a Fisher stereo system from 1998, AM/FM cassette CD. And this thing's really weird. It looks like a bookshelf system, right? You know, permanently installed AC powered system. But then you look at the top, and it's got a handle. And when you go around the back of it, there's a battery compartment to hold 8D batteries. This thing's a boombox. And it's massive. This is one of the biggest boomboxes I've ever seen. It's not very heavy, because it's all plasticky and mostly hollow inside probably. But wow, what a weird thing. Any other company would have sold this as just a bookshelf system. Fisher sold this as a portable boombox. The speakers are detachable, and it can be powered by AC. But wow, what a weird device. A very late model, massive, full-featured boombox. Very interesting. So Chris told me there are a few problems with this thing. He said that the CD and cassette doors open ridiculously slowly, and he said that the volume buttons don't really work at all. So I'm going to dig into this thing and see just how bad things are and see if I can get them working better. So let's dig into this thing. It's got what appears to be an LCD display. I've got it plugged in right now so you can see the time. There's your control buttons for the CD. Dynamic bass. Got bass and treble controls. Oh, these feel horrible. Oh geez, these feel so bad. Jeez. I think Fisher is one of those companies where they made somewhat decent stuff back in like the 70s and 80s, but by the time this thing would have been made, they were just making cheap bargain basement crap. And so far, that's certainly what it feels like. Oh my god, there's like when you move this bass control up, it's like super stiff, and then it moves super easy, and then it goes super stiff again. So weird. There's your tape radio CD mode switch. And down there it says dubbing speed, high or normal. Oh, so there's two settings for the tape. If you're dubbing one tape to another, because it's got two decks, you could choose between high or normal dubbing speed. Okay. And then there's your cassette decks. So nothing special. There's no chromium tape support or Dolby noise reduction or anything like that. So how bad are these doors? Yeah, it's a little bit on the slow side. So what this issue would be caused by, right here, and you can probably see it because it's a little wet looking, they put these gears together and put a thick grease between them to make opening the door a little softer, because that gives, you know, a more high-end feel. But over time, the grease has gotten too hard and it's made it open very slow. And it kind of skips because of that when you try to put the door down. How bad are the cassette doors? Oh, jeez. Wow. Oh, this one's winning. Holy cow, you could make a cup of coffee while these things are opening. Wow. Oh, they're really hard to push closed. You're scared you're going to break something if you push too hard. So yeah, this thing needs a bit of help. So what do we got around the back? Oh my god, this thing's huge. No power rating on the speakers. April 1998, made in China. Speakers do plug in with RCA jacks, that's nice. There's your beat cancel for the AM radio. Model PH-D761, portable AM/FM stereo cassette recorder. 120 volts, 60 hertz, 20 watts, or 12 volts via 8D cells. Oh, and it takes two AA batteries, I guess, to keep the time, and maybe there's station memory. Oh geez, I hope there's no AA batteries in there. There evidently used to be a label covering this hole that's since disappeared. There's your AC input. It's a standard stereo style appliance plug. And then your battery compartment. 8D batteries. See how that looks. Oh, this looks good. Nobody's left batteries in here. And the AA battery compartment looks good too, although the battery door is missing. Fair enough. So there's that. So yeah, overall, very clean unit. It doesn't look very beaten up at all. It looks like more than anything, just age has gotten to it. Antenna looks good. Here's your FM antenna. Decent size. I can't believe this thing's a freaking portable boombox. Just because this thing's sort of ridiculous. By the time this thing came out, boomboxes were little things that ran on like 6 C cells, and they had like a radio and 1 cassette deck. And then this thing comes out, it's freaking massive. Full-size speakers on it. And it takes 8 D cells, 2 cassette decks, CD. This thing was weird and kind of neat. It's too bad it was made by Fisher. So, I've got it plugged in. Let's turn it on and see what kind of shape this thing's in. Okay, so orange backlight, that's kind of neat. We're on the CD mode right now. There's the radio. I think this is NPR. Getting stereo.
Thank you very much. I have a question for Dr. Shaw and for Dr. Mills, or for Governor Mills.
Volume control seems to work okay.
Clarify the face coverings in public settings where physical distancing measures are difficult to maintain. Just a little more information about what that might look like. And for Dr. Shaw, any thought to starting to...
The volume control seems fine to me. How are the bass and treble?
Yeah, on your first question, we will be putting out guidance, more specific guidance about face coverings, and I really can't get into it right now because we're doing this as a
Oh
group.
wow!
And if I had specific,
when you move the treble control, to the bottom, the left speaker cuts out. So that definitely needs to be cleaned. Both these switches need to be cleaned.
We've looked at how other states are thinking about this. Some states like Massachusetts have
Oh, it's working better now.
They also have 50 times the number of cases that we do, even though they only have about 5 or 6 times as many people, which means they can.
So these just need to be cleaned
without really worrying about compromising privacy. Which, even though we're in a pandemic, we still
switch to the tape mode. Let's see if the tape mechanisms function. The motor sounds like a hive of angry bees, but seems to be working. Good torque. Auto stop works. How about this one? That works too. Auto stop also works. Probably one motor drives both of these. Oh! It does auto stop for rewind. It trips because the take-up reel isn't moving. Oh, that's kind of nice. Works for that one too. Oh, nice. Alright. I will have to make up a CD and a cassette to test the CD and cassette decks with. I'll record a CD with some stuff from the YouTube audio library, and then I'll make a cassette out of the same thing using my Iowa cassette deck, and then we'll see how this thing works. So while I was burning the CD, I heard a sproinging noise, and the lid popped open. And now it won't close anymore. And when I look down here, I think this is supposed to be the latch mechanism. And I think that little metal spring either dislodged or broke or something. Hopefully just dislodged. So I guess we might as well skip testing the CD and cassette. We might as well just go to opening this thing up. And I'll see if I can fix whatever happened here. Geez, this thing's just having a time of it. I took the speakers off and now we have something a bit more manageable. Let me start. I'm going to take apart, or I'm going to unscrew these screws. 4 screws, I have arrows next to them. I'm going to unscrew those and see if that grants us access. Okay, roadblock. Those screws are in there. So far, my camera can't even focus on them. That's how far they're in there. My very longest screwdrivers will not fit. The longest ones I have just go all the way in. So I guess we're not getting inside this thing today. And I'm gonna have to see if I can fix whatever happened to that latch just by the limited space I have from above. Fixed it. Wow, that took way too long. That was literally like an hour and a half off camera. Having to get that spring back on this little clip thing. I don't know what happened there, why it even broke, but anyway, got it there. Phew. So we know now we're definitely not getting inside this thing, so I'm gonna have to do whatever I can right from the outside. So first order of business is, let me see if I can thin the grease on these gears. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm actually going to take the electronic cleaner because this has a really solvent quality to it. I have found that whenever I use this stuff on volume controls that have grease to dampen their movement, it gets rid of the grease and then they turn a lot looser and I guess that's just how it works. So I'm going to spray just a little bit on this and see if it'll loosen it up a bit. Just like that. Give it a little squirt. That's a little bit better. That's a lot better. Now we're talking, huh? Just a little bit of a spray. That's a lot better. I think that's perfect. Now it's not skipping anymore when you push it down because the gears are able to turn easy enough. That's more like it. Cool. Let's do the same for the cassette decks. Just gonna ease this open. So for the cassette deck, the gears are right there. And you can see the grease on them. So let me give that a little bit of a spray. Just a little one. Let's see if that... This might take more than a little spray. This is pretty stiff. Actually, I sprayed the wrong place now that I think of it. I've been spraying the gears themselves. I should be spraying the little bearing on the back of the gears. A little more. That's a little better compared to that one. We'll keep it at that. It'll probably thin out a little more with time. Now let me get this one. See if I can get you a view of where I'm squirting there. Yeah, found a second purpose for electronic cleaner. There, that's going a lot better. Oh, that might have been slightly too much, but that's okay. Oop. Yeah, that might have been a little too much. Oops. So this one's good. This one's... Oopsie, that's my bad. I don't have any thick grease that I could put in there. Well, I'll see how Chris likes it. Maybe he likes it like that. If he doesn't, I can go to Canadian Tire and I can buy some marine grease or something, some really thick grease that I can stick in here. Get some of that dampening back. Wow, that worked way better on that one than it did on this one. How's this doing? That's pretty good. Alright, so we fix that. We might as well keep going. And let's see. How's it look back here? I'm not quite sure where the potentiometers. That might be it right there. I'll see what I can do about spraying the bass and treble controls, make them move a bit easier and hopefully work better. The head's looking pretty dirty on both of these decks, so I'll get some alcohol and clean those. I'll clean the cap stands and pinch rollers as well. Well, I've got the speakers put back on, and I burned a CDR with a song from the YouTube audio library, so let's see if the CD player works. Oh, I hear squeaky noises. Ah, there we go. Will it play? Nice! This is just something from the YouTube audio library. Doesn't sound too bad. Woo! It really belts out when you want it to. Alright, that's cool. So the cassette deck works. Or the CD player works, rather. Let's try the cassette decks. I'll try the number 2 deck because it's the one with recording. I got this tape. Alright. Let's get it playing here and then we'll hit record. Oh, that's weird. I hit record, it immediately stopped, and it stopped playing the disc. The heck? Wow, that's neat. It seems to know to automatically play or stop the CD when you're recording. But it won't. Why is it doing that? Will it play? Oh crap. My tape's not stuck, is it? Let me try the other deck. I don't know what's recorded on this. No, that's working just fine. I guess overnight, because it's the next day, the solvent worked away at the grease more, so now this door opens fast like the other one. What's wrong with this thing? It plays and then immediately stops. Will it fast forward? No, it won't do anything. What the heck's going on? So I hit play on this one and it's fine. And I hit play on this one. Can I hold it down? Huh. So it looks like deck 2 has an issue with the auto stop. But that's funny because earlier in the video I tested both of these decks on camera and they both worked. Now I put in the cassette and this one quits working. My God, what a pile this thing is. Things just break on it. My job was to make this thing work better. And the more I touch it, the more stuff breaks on it. And I'm not even doing anything to it. Good Lord. Okay, I guess deck number 2 is not working. And it's too bad because this is the only one that records, so we're not going to be able to do a recording test. Which means I guess I need to use another cassette deck to record the YouTube audio library song onto this cassette. And then we'll play it in this deck and see if at least this deck works. Wow, what a shame. What a pile. This thing is impressing me less and less as we go along. It's cool, but it's really crappy. Alright, let's switch it to tape mode. See if this deck breaks. Well, it works. How's the speed? I think it's a little on the fast side, but I'd have to see with one of my own songs. I guess it doesn't matter in the end, because I can't get this thing open to adjust the cassette speed. That was one of the things I was going to do if I could have opened this thing up, was fine-tune the cassette speed. It seems pretty close though. I think it's a tiny bit on the fast side. Sounds alright though. Oh, and that was the end of that. Oh, it sounds alright. It's too bad the deck 2. It's too bad it's not any good. If I hold the button down, it plays, but yeah, something wrong with the auto stop mechanism. Funny it wasn't doing that earlier though. Jeez, it's like the CD door. Well, I think that's all I'm going to toy with this thing. I'm afraid now the more I'll touch it, the more it'll break. This thing is neat, but it's crap. Ah, geez. If you see one of these things, only get it if it's free or super cheap. Don't pay any money for this. It's really cool. It's too bad it's not better quality, because it's really neat. A big battery power capable boombox, really, really neat. But quality, not there. The CD player works, and the radio works. The cassette decks even sound like they'd be half decent if that one didn't spontaneously break in the middle of the video. What else? The bass and treble, I think they're working better now. Let me see.
Tony Allen, in a song, is there anything in particular that you would like us to play?
Oh, man, I think Colonial Mentality is a great one.
I guess the bass and treble controls are working a bit better since I sprayed them. The volume control, he said there was something up with the volume control. It's working all right on my end. But yeah, I'm not going to do any more work on this thing. I've done pretty much all I can do without buying a $10 screwdriver so I could get inside it. It's just really too bad that this cassette deck spontaneously quit working. I have no idea what happened there. No clue. It's a mystery, I guess. But there you go. There's a look at the Fisher boombox from 1998. This will be going back to Chris. I'm disappointed that I can't bring it back to him in better working shape than he gave it to me in. But it was neat to look at, neat to explore, and hopefully you guys found this interesting. I'll see you in the next video.